Hello, welcome to Raina's podcast. I am so happy that you are here, and this is going to be a really awesome, interesting episode. And we're going to be talking about two currencies. Yes, there are two. It's not just money, but it is also time. Time versus money. And this is to me really important because depending what phase you are in your life, and either you're going to value your time or your money more. And it depends on each situation. It's not just like you're always going to value time more, you're always going to value money more. It really just depends on the decision that you're going to make. And to me, this is really important because I feel that we need to think differently. A lot of the times, I think growing up, first generation Latina, a lot of the times we value money more and not really the time that we can either save or the time that's going to be spent, rather than investing a little bit more money and then you can save on that time, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'll explain a little bit more, right? And give a little bit more examples. But if you think about it, what do you currently find more valuable? Is it currently money or is it currently time? And if you say money, if you do think about it, money is actually very limitless. Very limitless. There is an abundance of money. But that is, again, how you view your relationship with money. If you believe that this is a very limiting thing that is out there, then you'll probably value money more. But if you are at a place of abundance, you will value your time more, and you will know that money is abundant and that there is so much of it to be distributed to all of us, right? And if we think about time is actually very, very limiting, right? Like we literally have non-refundable, this is what they call it, non-refundable minutes. Like yesterday was already yesterday. Like you can never get yesterday back. It's never going to come back. It's gone. And if anything, we're here for a certain limit of time. And, if we really want to get technical, like the average lifespan of a person is about 78 years old. And I think that's really interesting because if you think about it, depending your age, right, you're like, and then, most of the time, either every day we need sleep. We spend certain amount of time eating every day. And so it just like, I believe I read somewhere in a book where it said you technically live like about 8 to 10 years, like where you actually, once you subtract all of the sleeping and eating and showering and all the like daily things that we do, that definitely takes our time. And, it's really important to do. But this is where you really think about it differently. And I really want to put it also in like a business perspective. So let's think of an example of it when you are just starting out, right? There's so much to learn when you're starting out a business, and you have so much, you possibly have a limited amount of money, but you have a lot of time to invest, or you do have some type of financial savings or something that maybe you can invest, and you depending on where you're at, right? So for example, when you're starting a business, you're either going to have to research different tools, different platforms, different vendors, depending what's your business, depending lots of systems to set up, your operations that you need to set up. There's so much that needs to go on behind the scenes, right? And then once you start your business, which you need to always remember like why you started and what is your motivation. But because it does get being like the CEO or quote unquote boss, it's not as easy as people think it is. There's a lot of very important decisions to be made. And then once you have your team out, everybody is counting on you to create this successful business. So, for example, let's say you want to set up an e-commerce business, right? And let's say that there's a course that literally states how to set up your e-commerce business and make consistent $3,000 sales in your first couple months. Let's say that's like the course, and the course is $3,000. So what would you do? Do you want to take the time to, again, and this is where you have two decisions. You have a decision to take the time to try to figure it out, make mistakes, research the different tools that you're going to need, the different systems, but then you come across a course or some type of mentor or coach that you see that has built this, and you see they're succeeding in it, but the investment is $3,000. So this is where, if you were to just not purchase the investment and decide to just do it on your own, you are, you're willing to save that money, but your time is being wasted or, invested in something else. I don't want to say wasted, because you are doing research and doing something productive. But let's say you were to purchase the course and it's already like, okay, this is the tool that you're going to use. This is what you have to do. This is how you're going to market. This is how you're going to set it up. And you're saving so much time, so many mistakes, and already you could have just expedited that successful journey, right? And to me, this is where it's all like and I just feel that there's a lot of the times people don't really see that value of getting a mentor or investing in a coach, like investing in your business. That's still investing in your business, and it's going to help you. But sometimes people don't see it like that. Oh my gosh, they're just seeing like, oh, I'm just giving this person $3,000. But this is where it all comes down to, how much do you value your time, right? And your energy. Like, do you have the time to be spending and sitting down and doing all that research all by yourself? Or maybe you do want to make that investment, right? And it may seem, yes, it's an initial. And why do people charge? Because that person learned, and that person, they already basically did the mistakes for you. They've invested, right? And they are charging for their time and their energy that they did in order to put this course together. So it's all an exchange, but in a different way. that's why I want to talk about these two currencies, time versus money. And why is this important to you? Because to me, I think as you're building your business, as you're growing, I really, really want you to really open your mind about investing in yourself and in your business, right? And either that's a mentor or a coach, because that is going to help you in so many areas of your life. And I feel, and I'm not here to tell you which course to take, which mentor to get, but this is where you're going to be putting it out into the universe. Like, hey, you know what? I really need, and there's so many coaches and mentors for every single thing, literally every time I think of like, oh, like this, like, oh, there's not a coach or a mentor for that. Yes, there is. So, doing a little bit of research, maybe going on Instagram and typing in the search and like hashtags, like you will find somebody, or posting it in a Facebook group and seeing if anybody else knows somebody. And this can benefit you, whether that's like, let's say it's not business that you need mentorship. Maybe it's like a relationship coach, right? And I literally know a relationship coach, and yeah, she's a very successful relationship coach, because sometimes people need support in that area, right? And there's no judge in that. Or a health coach. Maybe you're struggling with keeping up with your health, or really learning like what is good for your body, how to correctly work out, how to correctly eat and not starve yourself. And if you see that somebody, like, they're passionate about that and that's something that they've learned, why not make that investment and really truly educate yourself, right? Make that investment. And you are the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. So let's say you have all these successful coaches and mentors, you're gonna be the average of those people. So I just want you to know that it's not bad to invest in a coach or a mentor, or that's like, oh wow, like, let go of your ego and know that it's okay to ask for support and guidance. I've had coaches on marketing, on so many different things. Also a health coach. I've invested in a fitness trainer. And, it can even be for that, again, that time phrase. Like, let's say, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 months. And then you are already educated and you're guided within those 3 months. And if you want to continue working with them, then continue working with them. But you'll also notice that there's going to be a point in your business where you'll probably move past that mentorship. Like, let's say, you started with, let's go back to the e-commerce business example. Let's say, okay, you want to set up your e-commerce business and make consistent $3,000 sales per month. Okay, you invested in the course, and now you're making $5,000 sales per month. And now you want to continue investing and you want to make more than that, right? Like, okay, now you're ready you have your system set up, you did everything the course did. Now you're basically trying to seek that next level. And it's okay to let that mentorship go, that mentor go, and thank you, be grateful for it and move on to the next level. You've moved up, right? So that's totally, totally fine when you are going through this journey. So this is what I wanted to really, touch on, because I really feel like I just wanted to make it aware that it's okay to invest in yourself and save that time, right? So another example that we can see here that's a little bit different is when you see people, whether they are hiring someone to clean their house, right? Like, they don't want to spend that free time that they have, or that very limited free time, cleaning their house on the weekends. They want to spend it with their kids. So they hire somebody to clean it for them. And then during the weekends, they can actually just spend quality time with their kids, right? Or somebody to cut their grass. Or somebody to cut their grass, right? Whether maybe you don't know how to cut grass, or you just don't want to take that time, but you want to have, obviously, like a nice cut grass, then maybe you want to invest in a gardener, right? Also, maybe someone to do like the handiwork around your house, where you're not paying, right? Where you don't want to learn how to maybe fix a certain type of piece in your home, or you don't want to learn like all of the construction stuff, but you'd rather pay for somebody to do it for you. And this is where you're paying for their expertise, you're paying for their knowledge, right? Versus you trying to learn and start from zero. So I just want you, again, and this is all determines like what exactly you are deciding, or where you are in your life. Like, hey, maybe you do want to try out like hiring somebody to clean your home, even if you're like, okay, like, I get it, because normally we think of that could be something just like so extra. But if you think about it, let's say you hire somebody to clean your home, you pay them their fee, but during those I don't know how long it takes you to clean your home, but during those hours, let's say you were out there working on your extra side hustle, and this extra side hustle is bringing you, a bit more. In the beginning, it could be a little an expense, but then what if it's bringing you more and you're able to pay for this? You're not only supporting somebody else, right? That cleaning person who is able to support and feed their family and put food on the table, but you're also working on yourself. So don't ever think that, oh, that's something, don't ever think something negative about that. Know that you are providing work and you are providing value to somebody else's life. And I'm sure that they are very appreciative of you, right? If you were to pay. And this again goes for a lot of things. It could be somebody cleaning your house, or it could be you paying for a coach or a mentor, right? You're exchanging a certain value, a need that you need, and for money, but you are saving time. So I just want you to, again, two currencies, time versus money. So I want you to ask yourself, how much is your hour worth? How much is your hour worth? If you were to add up all the things you do, all the side hustles, and everything that does make you money, and divide it into the actual days, like subtract the sleeping hours, but actually there's 168 hours in a week. And let's say we subtract all the sleeping hours, the eating hours, and then the actual just where you're able to work and be productive time. Let's say you were to divide that, what would your hour be worth? And this is where you can determine, hey, if I were to do this task or do this, then I'm actually losing money rather than gaining money. So I want you to sit down, do a little bit of math, and really think about how much is your hour worth, and also think of, so that you moving forward can make better decisions to help you go forward in life, right? And just to think differently rather than continuously doing the same thing that you saw your parents do, or other people around you do. But I want you to think differently, because I know this is that every person I know who is financially successful, they don't really clean their house, to be honest. They actually invest and pay somebody, or a lot of them have a coach, have a mentor. They've paid for a course, they've paid for a coach. Like, it's just a common theme that I see. And when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, not that you have to do the exact same thing, but you will notice it's a common theme, and they value their time so much more than, the money that's going to quote unquote help them save. If anything, or sometimes spending time with your family and kids, that's priceless. That is time that's not refundable, right? That's not going to come back. So I want you to just think about that. And I hope this episode opens your eyes and makes you think a little bit differently when it comes to time versus money. So I really want to know your thoughts and what you think about it. And you can send me a direct message at my Instagram at hola_reina. And I'll link it down in the description box. And I would also appreciate if you could leave a podcast review on Apple Podcasts. So we can only do reviews on Apple Podcasts, but I truly appreciate you listening to this episode, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts. I know this is something a little different, and I also think this is very important, and at a point where I also appreciate and value my time. And then you just also, again, you value your time, you value your worth, and you don't really also like to deal with people who are going to affect you negatively. Like, you're just like, this is not worth my time, right? Or it comes into many areas of your life once you know how much your time is worth, because everyone's time is very valuable, but you need to put the value on that. People aren't going to value your time and your worth if you don't value your own time and worth. So think about that. I will leave you with that. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.